Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this hat. This is a very cozy hat and it's really easy to make. It's like a total beginner will be able to make this. It's so cute. And it even added a little fluffy pom-pom to the top. Let's get into the video. So what you're gonna need for this project is you're gonna want to have a crochet hook. This is like my first time I've pretty much ever used this size hook. It's a 5.25 or an I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's what that is. And you're also gonna need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and the yarn needles are blunt and they don't hurt you at all, so that's good. And I'm also going to be using a very old skein, a Red Heart Super Saver. Oh, and if you want to add a little pom-pom like I have, you're going to want to have the biggest sized pom-pom maker. I unboxed this in my pom-pom makers video, link up there. You don't have to have a pom-pom maker, you could make one yourself. For me, the pom-pom makers make the perfect pom-pom, so that's why I use this little doohickey. So let's get into the video. To start my hat, I'm going to make a slip knot with my yarn. Whoops. Now we are going to chain 38. So do 38 chains. To make a chain, you wrap the yarn around your hook, take the wrapped yarn and pull it through the loop like that. And this is our 4th chain, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And so I've just completed my 38 chains, and this is what it should look like. Into our 2nd chain from our hook, and the loop on your hook does not count, so this is 1 chain, and it looks a little weird. And then this is our 2nd chain. Into our 2nd chain, we're going to do a single crochet. To do a single crochet, just stick your hook into the loop, grab the yarn, pull it out of the stitch, wrap your yarn again, and you're going to pull through all of those loops. And we're going to do this another time. So stick our hook through the next stitch, and to know that you've done a stitch, all you can do is you can count. All you can do is you can say, all right, this is the stitch that we just did because it's a large hole and it has a loop. Now that we've done our 2 single crochets, we're going to half double crochet the rest of our chain here. So to do a half double crochet, you have to find the V. Instead of just sticking your hook in there, you have to wrap the yarn back to front, go, and you're wrapping this before you stick your hook into the stitch. You stick your hook into the stitch, then you pull your hook out of the stitch, then you're going to wrap again. So you're facing the hook away from you, you're wrapping and pulling towards you, and you're going to pull through all of those 3 loops. And that's a half double crochet. We're going to make these half double crochet stitches all the way until we get to the end of the row. Now I've reached the very end. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work around. Now we are going to do half double crochets into every stitch until we get to the last 2 stitches. And we're going to work into the back loop only and I'll show you how to do that. I just kind of forgot to mention that. If you don't know how to do the back loop, you wrap the yarn and you see the V, you want to go right into the top of it, but only in the back loop. The back loop is the one farthest away from us. This is the front loop, and back here is the back loop. Wrap, and we just do a regular half double crochet. And once you start to do more of these, you'll notice that the front loop gets pushed forward, and we're going to do this all the way until we get to the last two. And once we get to the last two, I'll show you what to do then. I am now at the last two stitches, and I worked all the way in the back loop, and now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a single crochet into the last two into the back loop. That's the first one, and then the last one always looks a little funny. You're just going to put your hook in and attempt to grab that last stitch. Chain one, flip your work around, do a single crochet, back loop only, into the next stitch, or into the first stitch, I should say. Into the next stitch, do a single crochet, back loop only, and then we're going to just half double crochet, back loop only, all the way around, or all the way till we get to the end. And this time we're not stopping at 2 stitches, we're just going to keep going. But just in case you don't understand what I'm saying right now, I will explain whenever we reach the last two. Okay, I'm back to the last 2 stitches, and we're just going to do 1 half double crochet into the back loop only, just like how we were doing. Make sure to get that last stitch. Alright, now chain 1 for your next row. And for all rows, all rows that are past this point, we're just going to repeat rows 2 and rows 3. How I'm going to do that is, so I have written down a little note here because I kept getting confused with row 2 and row 3, because I thought they were the exact same, but they are different. Notice this edge, alright, it's straight. Notice the other edge. It isn't straight, and that's one way you can notice it. That's one way that can help you. Another way is to look at this chart I made. Handy dandy little chart. Alright, so I've written down some notes. Row 2 goes chain 1, half double crochet, back loop only into every stitch. But in the last 2, single crochet, back loop only. Row 3 is chain 1, single crochet, back loop only in first 2 stitches, then half double crochet, back loop only in all. So, whenever you finish up a row that's half double crochet, the next row you start with half double crochet. You get me? See, the last 2 stitches ended with single crochet, so the first 2 stitches of the next row start with single crochet, and then it goes half double crochet from there on. So, yeah, I'm going to let you continue that. Sorry about the weird fuzzies on the ground, and I will see you whenever we're done with 39 rows. I am now done with my 38 rows. You always have to end on this part, and it says the single crochet, it makes the top narrower than the bottom. So this right here is going to be the top, and this straight edge is going to be the bottom. So now what we're going to do is slip stitches, and I've already said that, so you want to get both loops on the stitch, and then you want to grab the corresponding one, and that should be the edge of the stitch. Pull up a loop and pull that through. Get it in, go to the corresponding one, wrap, pull through the loops, and then pull through the loop on your hook. We are going to repeat this all the way until we get to the bottom. I'm getting my last stitch here. And slip stitch. Chain one, grab your scissors, cut, pull up on the hook, and tighten it. Now what I want you to do is tie these two ends together we're going to do a double knot. You don't have to do the knot. I just like doing it. Makes it more secure, I think, at least. Take those ends, flip it so that it's inside out, and you're going to weave in and out throughout the stitches. But some of the hat will be your brim, so make sure that you weave it in nicely and that the ends are neatly cut. So whenever I'm cutting the end, making sure it's close to the end, relatively close. And then if you turn it over to where you did your seam, if you were looking for it, you would notice it, but if you weren't, it could pretty much only, it could really blend in really well. Once you've weaved in your ends really well, you can now do the top. Yay! To do the top, we're going to cut a long piece. I like cutting more than I need. It's better if you cut a longer piece. We're going to take our yarn needle. We're going to thread it on. We're going to go right in where we sewed off, or like, I'm going to pull it all the way. But make sure you have a bit of a tail, that way you can weave it in later. Now we're going to go straight across to the ridge here, and we're going to go to the next ridge, and we're just going to do this, and that's what we're going to use to close it off. We're just going to pull it, and if you don't know what I mean, I'll keep explaining. All I'm doing is going into the ridges, into the ribs onto both sides. So once I'm done with that one, I go right across. Then I go right across with that one. And then once it gets a little tight, once it gets a little tight on my yarn needle, that's whenever I pull it. You see how my yarn needle is becoming really crowded? That's whenever you know to pull your yarn needle through. And just to pull everything through. We got a little more stitches to go. You like my song? Me, personally, I like to do 2 stitches at a time. Okay, we're back at the start. We're just going to go right through. And as you can see, I have a lot of yarn left over. I mean, that's good because it's better to do more than less, am I right? Here's the magical part. We're going to take our long end of our tail here, and we're just going to hold everything secure, and we're going to pull on the end that we just weaved everything through. That should close it up magically. Oh, look at that. My yarn came through. Okay, take two. So what we're going to do is I have left a longer tail so that it doesn't accidentally go through again, because whoopsie me, I messed up. So we're gonna, as I was saying, we're going to just pull on the end where we did it. You can pull on both, it doesn't matter really. And we're gonna pull all the way till we have almost no end. But you really wanna make sure that you don't snap that yarn. Now we're gonna keep everything really tight and we're gonna tie a knot. And we're just gonna tie knots. I'm just gonna do a triple knot, just maybe even a quadruple knot. We're just gonna weave in our ends. I'm going to make a pom-pom because that's what I want to do. I am going to add a red, no, I'm not going to add red. I'm going to add a white pom-pom because that would look super duper duper cute. So here I have my pom-pom maker, nothing fancy. Well, actually, it is kind of fancy, but this is my pom-pom maker. You can make a pom-pom with literally your hands. It does not matter. I am going to use 2 different yarns because this one's almost out, and I may need to use this one. So I'm just going to use 2 at a time. And I am just going to take the ends, and then I'm going to wrap. I am going to wrap, 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 wrap. I am just going to wrap until it is full. Alrighty, now we have the end done. We're going to put it through the slit. Closey, closey. And go to the other side and start wrapping again. Okay, now I put it in the slot, close it up. Take your scissors, cut off, and now we're gonna cut. We're just gonna cut the yarn. And this works best if you have a good pair of scissors. I got it all cut. Now I'm gonna take a piece of my yarn. I'm just gonna use this solid. I mean, it doesn't matter at all. I'm just using this solid piece, cutting maybe about this is about a 38-inch piece of yarn that I have, and that goes well with this size Pom Pom maker. Take it, put the yarn into the Pom Pom maker, and what I want to do is make sure that the ends are lined up.
You want to tie knots. You want to make sure the knots are really tight.
Bring the two strings into the center. Lift the second thing up. Then take the other ones, lift and lift. Take the two sides, wiggle, 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 wiggle. And then put these two pieces back together. And it's good as new. Shake it. And what we're going to do is, see this little part right here, it doesn't really look nice, so that's why I like adding the pom-poms. I'm just going to put the start of it, I'm going to bring it down, push it through, and then as you can see it slipped out, so I'm just going to pull, and now that looks pretty already. I'm going to adjust the way it is. I'm going to take the other side, do the same to the other side. Then just give them a nice pull closed, and then go all the way. I want to almost like flip it inside out, but you're not flipping it inside out. Tie a knot. We're going to tie a really secure knot. And that secure knot, I want to make this at least 3 knots. Make it at least 3 knots tight. I made mine 4. Now I'm going to weave. Actually, no, I'm not going to weave in. Well, I may. I don't know. What I'm going to do is, since you can't really see this because it's a hat, I am just going to cut the ends because nobody will see it. It's a hat. I just cut it a little bit shorter. That's just to make sure that the ends don't come undone, and I can tie it one more time if I want, even, which is what I'm going to do. And then I have the end here, we can toss that, and I can flip it back. We can make a brim, nice thick brim on our hat. And yeah, that's basically it, everyone.